Okay, this drives me nuts. Personal trainers in this industry who are struggling when they do not need to struggle. And I read a stat the other day, 66% of business owners feel the worst is still yet to come in this whole pandemic. So listen, if you're a personal trainer and you are struggling and you have lost half of your client base, stay tuned because I'm going to share some really important strategies with you on how you can grow, develop, and have a lucrative business that is thriving and not going the other way. Hi, well, I'm Mike Tangretta, the creator of InHome Trainer. We have trainers all across North America. We go to people's homes, we provide virtual training, and we give trainers the coaching and support to help them succeed with a thriving business. I'm going to share a couple of more stats with you. 2/3 of business owners, yes, 2/3 of business owners with expenses of more than $10,000 say that they cannot last more than 2 weeks if their business were to dry up. And that's pretty crazy. So if you have expenses of $10,000 and you don't have money coming in and generating money on a basically monthly basis, reoccurring revenue model rather in your business, you're going to be struggling. So I'm going to share with you how you can do that in this industry, how you can have a thriving business. And it comes down to a couple of key points. So for personal trainers, if you're a trainer who is just starting out and perhaps you are a new trainer to this industry and you think, I am going to exchange my time for an hour session working at a gym. And while that may be very fine for you right now, and maybe you're going to get a bit of experience, you only have so many hours in the day. And so what does that mean? Generally, you're going to be capped out at around 8 hours a day, not to mention you're going to have cancellations, not to mention you are going to have people that are booking you in the evening, people booking you in the early morning, so it's going to make for very, very long days, and you're probably going to be stuck in a gym for most of the day. And eventually you're going to be capped out. Maybe you can make 60 grand, maybe you can make 70 grand, maybe you'll only make 20 or 30 grand with all the cancellations. And so there is a far more lucrative way in this industry, and there's a few lucrative ways. Now the first way I'm going to share with you is in-home personal training. See, with in-home personal training, when you are running your own in-home training business, and listen, I read another stat the other day, and more than about 2/3 of people right now are not planning to go back to the gym because they've invested in home equipment. Home equipment sales are through the roof. Through the roof, okay? They cannot keep up with the demand. Fitness companies are out of stock all across North America. They are slowly bringing stuff back in. But if you have tried to order fitness equipment over the pandemic and even now post-pandemic, you are going to see that it's going to be very hard, or maybe you're going to have a bit of a lengthy delay. Things are starting to get back to normal, but still the price of equipment has gone up, and getting that equipment is become really difficult. So what does it tell us? It tells us that people have invested into home equipment and they are planning to use it. But as personal trainers, what happens? Well, listen, I've been an in-home personal trainer for 20 years. We have trainers all across North America. And I've been into a ton of homes. And the first thing people show me is their equipment that is collecting dust. And why is that? Because they don't have the accountability of a personal trainer. So if a light bulb's gone off in your head right now, in-home personal training is certainly a fantastic way to have a thriving business right now. And we've been doing this for 20 years. And why is it a good way? Well, a couple of points I'm going to break down for you. Number one is if you're working in a gym, the gym is going to take 50% right off the top, maybe even more, 60%. So you're most likely going to be making $20, $30 a session. Some gyms I know pay as low as like $15 a session, which is basically minimum wage. Now, if you're running your own in-home training business, and you can charge whatever you want. There are people that charge over $100 a session, $150 a session, or the ballpark in North America, which is somewhere between $60 to $95 a session. That money goes directly into your pocket. So when you do the math, number two, you really only need to train a few hours per day. If you're training at an average rate of $75 per session, and you are training 3 to 5 hours per day, you'll be close or upwards to that 6-figure income as a personal trainer. And then think of all the free time you have, which is what I'm going to get into next. Ways that you can grow your lucrative personal training business. There are certain things that you can do to increase your bottom line or increase revenue. Now, you may offer nutrition plans. You may offer nutrition consultations. You may offer equipment. Maybe you become a wholesaler or you provide your clients with equipment with your branding on it. In this day and age, it's not that hard to order something, get your brand on it, and distribute it. Make it really super easy for your clients to purchase in-home training equipment. So there's a ton of ways that you can make extra revenue on top of, let's say you're making your 6-figure income as a personal trainer working out of homes. Now there are more ways, and a lot of ways that our trainers do this is they actually scale back. So what the heck do you mean, Mike, they scale back? Well, listen, our trainers understand that they only have so many hours in a day to train. So what does that mean? Well, they scale back and they bring on people to help them grow their business. And if you look at any successful company, any business, the more revenue they generate, the more money that person makes, essentially, they are serving more people. So what do our trainers do? They actually branch out and bring on more trainers to help them grow. And that's exactly what I did as an in-home personal trainer. You see, I started as a one-on-one trainer, but my hours got maxed. I was working 25 to 30 hours a week and making a very decent living. But at the same time, I only had so many hours in the day. And I wanted to branch out and max, so I ended up bringing on trainers to help me. No different than if you were working at a gym, and the gym were bringing on trainers to help them. The exact same model is what we teach our trainers in the in-home training world. And it's not that hard to do, as long as you follow our proven blueprints. And I'm going to share with you what we do right now. So a couple of things that we do is, number one is lead generation. We focus on developing leads, because without leads, you're not going to have a business that thrives. So we develop lead generation systems so we can bring people into your world. And we do a lot of this organic. So we do not drive paid ads until we have mastered bringing in leads organically. And organically could be through a website, it could be through social media, it could be through a video like this, it could be through written blog posts. There are numerous ways that we do this. And then once you have the lead generation systems in place and you start earning some revenue, that's when you can scale up and start using paid ads. And so what do paid ads do? Well, let's say, for example, we run a paid ad and we spend $500 per month. And while that may sound a lot to you right now, $500 a month or even $1,000 a month, heck, we've spent like $10,000 or $20,000 per month. And so if you're spending that kind of money, you want to look at your return on investment. So if we spent $500 per month and we generated one client out of that, and that client ended up purchasing a $500 package, you may say, well, I just broke even. True, you broke even. But that's actually a win, believe it or not. And why is that a win? Because that $500 actually you gained the client for free. Because it's all leveled out, and now that client is going to renew in your lead nurture system. So really, if you're spending $500 in ads, you really only need to make $500 back. And that's how the advertising game works. Yet if you're spending that kind of money on an ad, you should hopefully generate 2 or 3 or 5 times the return on that investment. Because you see, if a client purchases a package that's anywhere between $2,000 or $5,000, could even be up towards the $10,000. If you're selling high ticket training, you've 10x'd your investment, or maybe even 20x'd it. And so those are the strategies that we teach in our world. And if you are a personal trainer that is struggling with any of this, then you certainly need the help, the guidance. We've been doing it for 20 plus years. I've been coaching trainers for 20 plus years. We have trainers all across North America. And it's the simple systems that you need to understand if you're going to thrive in this business. Because when I was a personal trainer, I started in a gym like most trainers did and do, and I struggled big time. Why did I struggle? Well, I got burnt out. I was working day and night, long hours, early mornings. My clients wanted to train at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., some clients. And then I had clients that wanted to train at 8 or 9 p.m. And it made for very long days, and I was very, I want to say I was unscheduled back then. And so I would take on clients whenever they wanted to train because I just wanted the income. But eventually what happens is you get burnt out because it makes for really long days. And when you have these long days, it doesn't give you the energy. You don't have the energy to even perform your own workouts, spend time with your family, or have the energy to spend time with your family, with friends. And at the same time, you probably don't have the energy to build different revenue streams into your business that I discussed earlier in this video. And so I'm sharing with you some strategies on what we do. So you have your lead generation system. Okay, you need to have that in place. And then you also have to have a lead nurture system. And so what the heck is a lead nurture system? Well, that means when a client comes into your world, you need to nurture them. You see, most people think that as soon as a client comes or a prospect comes into the world that they have to make a sale. And that is the wrong type of thinking. Yes, it's very nice to have a sale. Yes, it's very nice to help someone move forward and go forward with their goals. But you also need to have a nurture system in place. And so what does a nurture system mean? Well, a nurture system can be anything through email, could be through phone calls, it could be through a Facebook group. But you nurture your clients and prospects until they're ready and feel comfortable and trust you enough to train with you. And most people underutilize or underestimate that important step. And if you're doing that lead nurture system correctly, you will have a consistent flow of clients coming into your world. And so you need to understand these basic principles as a personal trainer. And once you have that in place, then you can focus on improving your sales and improving your systems, something that I'm really passionate about, on how to make more sales and how to increase your bottom line. And so sales, there is an art to that as well. Many people think that people are just going to buy. I don't know how many times I've seen this, a website that has spend $5,000 and buy my package right now. I'll give you 10 different options or 5 different options. I'd be very surprised if those websites convert unless you have a really awesome nurture system in place. The first time person that goes there is not going to buy a $5,000 training package with you. So you need to sell the next step. And what is the next step? It usually means hopping on a phone call. And that is how the pros do it. They do not sell directly with just one website and push people to it. You need an amazing funnel, you need amazing copywriting, and you need an amazing nurture system if you plan to do that and go down that route. But it's far easier just to have a client fill out a form and pick up the phone call. And now you can sell the next step, which is usually just to meet with you or whatever your service is going to be. And if you're a coach that's interested in online training, you do the exact same thing. And there are gurus out there that'll promise you the holy grail of $30,000 or $40,000 per month with online training. And yes, that can work, but you need to follow the same systems. You need to follow lead generation, lead nurture, sales. You need excellent copywriting if you're going to use a funnel or a website or paid ads. And that is really how it works for personal trainers in this world that are looking to grow a lucrative business. And so I want to share this example with you about how much we consume. And you see, you could take a teacher, for example. And a teacher, may be capped out at $60,000 or $70,000 per year, and they're doing an amazing job and they're teaching students. But yet you take that exact same teacher who put all of her material on YouTube, all of her excellent teaching on YouTube, and suddenly grew a channel that had, let's say, 10 million followers or 1 million followers or 100,000 followers. Suddenly she's reaching way more people. She has much more of an impact. She can drive ads, or people actually start advertising on her YouTube channel, and now her income comes up. And this is where I explain this in the opening part of this video, is the more people you serve, when you understand the simple principle, the more revenue you're going to generate. And it's as simple as that. So how much value do you provide? If you're providing value to one-on-one, one person, let's say there's an accountant. You have an accountant, you have one client. An accountant makes, I don't know, 100 grand a year serving this one client. Well, he's capped at that value. But if that accountant now takes on 5 or 6 or 7 clients and has the capacity, or maybe he builds a business or a company around it, suddenly he's adding more value. And now maybe he's making $600,000-$700,000 a year because he's taking on more clients, or maybe he has a whole firm and people are working for him to serve more clients, hundreds of clients, and now he's up to $1 million a year. And so when you have that right type of thinking, it's going to be far way easier for you to succeed and have more longevity in this industry. And it's what we teach all of our in-home personal trainers. So if you're interested in in-home personal training, hey, drop me a comment below in the video. Check out our websites, inhometrainer.ca or inhometrainer.us. See what we're all about. Look at our career sections. And then apply for a position to work with us, and we'll help coach you build the business of your dreams. I'm Mike Tangretta. This has been another episode of the Making of an Entrepreneur Show. Glad you're here with me. Please like, subscribe, share to this channel, and wish to see you and hope to see you next time.